What's up, junkies? Welcome back in for another edition of Pigskin Junkies. Myself, Michael Larson, Big Brother Jared Larson, and Scott Panza here to talk what's going on in the football world and also what's going to be happening on the football field this weekend. Football! Fellas, how we doing?
Boom. Doing great. Feeling great.
Look good, feel
Fantastic.
good. So, a couple things here. Lots of news in the coaching carousel. Real quick, going to dip, dive, dunk into some college football. Haley's still holding first place, but don't look now. I could slide into the DMs. There you go, Jared. On Monday, depending on who she has. So I might have to figure out who she takes, Jared, if you can help me out on that.
I was going to say, I'm not going to help you.
Why?
Because that would be unethical.
Well, you eat my ass. It's because you don't want to give
I'm an
up the money.
upstanding citizen.
Haley would never see the money if she wins. So
That's correct.
She doesn't even know money's at stake.
Other fantastic news.
I did pay her entry fee, so I get rights to all winnings.
Oh, that's great.
I-
'cause
you
you're at the
know-
bottom
Or
of
at
the
least
fish barrel.
a percentage.
I
At least
just
a
wanna-
percentage.
I just want to beat you. I know I have no shot at the title, but beating you
might.
would be fantastic.
It'll be close. I think I'm like 50%.
That's
I actually had a work call today, and it was a conference like this, and the person asked when they said that they're so used to listening to our podcast that they were waiting for me to just start spitting out picks on the work call. I was like, oh, whoa. Thank you for reviewing and subscribing, downloading,
There you go.
etc.
Fellas, I don't know what we did to deserve this, but Thanksgiving night will now be capped off by Lane Kiffin taking on Mike Leach
It's going to be great.
in the Egg Bowl. This is a day I never thought I would see coming. Lane Train himself going to Ole Miss was phenomenal. And then you're telling me Leach is also going to be... I need Mike Leach on the podium. I need him on the podium before Nick Saban, just so I can have these two... Actually, throw Mississippi State, LSU, Alabama all on the same day. That's all I want. That's all I want. Be
Media
phenomenal.
days.
Don't-
Beham. It's going to be lit.
It is. SEC West coaches, with the exception, if you're Arkansas right now, you're like, oh, crap. We made...
Yeah, they
literally-
hired the line coach from Georgia.
Yeah. Brutal.
They stink.
Brutal.
Yeah, it'll be good. Leach has been trying. I think Leach has been trying to get to the SEC for a while now.
I just don't get it. Why is everyone rushing to go to the SEC? Is it just money? Because, I mean, you're going to have to deal with...
we write fat checks.
Yeah.
Is that all it is? Because, you know, Mississippi State, what's their ceiling?
Well, I can tell you I would, with certainty, rather live in Starkville, Mississippi than
Oxford.
Pullman, Washington.
Oh, well, that too.
I haven't been to either, so I can't speak to that.
I haven't been to Pullman, Washington. Trust me. There's not a whole lot. This is not a vote of confidence for Stark Vegas. This is a indictment on Pullman, Washington.
I mean, it's Stark Vegas, Scott. I mean, come on. It's calling us.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of these guys have an ego and they're college coaches, and without question, the SEC is the best conference overall. And I would make the case that the West is the best division in college football. I mean, and by the way, I will fight anyone that wants to contend against that on Twitter, on this podcast, whatever. If you guys think I'm a homer, you're just being an idiot. It's without contest in my mind. And I think there's some of that to it. Like they think they will, be the best, beat the best type of thing. And I mean, it's nice to make. I mean, what's Leach going to make? $6 million?
I didn't look at his contract, yeah.
I'm just
In
curious
Mississippi?
because
Yeah.
you're Ole Miss. I mean, what does the fan base expect to do in a given season? Maybe beat Auburn?
They expect to win all the games.
What do we
Is
do,
that really
Scott?
what they think?
What
I
do
don't
we
know
do?
what it's
Everybody
like down
expects
south.
to win all the time.
What do you
Oh,
play
my
for?
goodness.
Herb Edwards,
You
what do you
play to
play
win the
for?
games. But I mean, if you're Mississippi State, I mean, all right, so you beat Vanderbilt. And now all these teams seem like they have great coaches. Florida, Auburn, Alabama. Texas A&M, LSU, Georgia.
They do.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, not everyone can win. Somebody's got to lose the games.
It's true.
Which is kind of what I've been saying for like 3 or 4 years. Like, you're not just going to plow through everyone every year. It's not possible in that division.
Also, coaching news. We'll move up to the NFL level.
Let's get to real football.
Okay, Scott. You know what? On that note, we're going to end the podcast right here. Some big names, obviously shifting around. McCarthy apparently spent the night at Jerry Jones's house, and there was a quote that came out.
How about that?
Once.
I'll stop right there. I'm like, whoa, buddy. How bad do you want this job, Mikey?
Yeah. Well, somebody tweeted, it was like, once Jerry gets his man, he doesn't let him leave. And I was like, that probably shouldn't have been said.
I'm concerned about Mike McCarthy. I'll tell you why. Because he's been clogging his arteries in Wisconsin for the last 10 years. And now he's going down to Dallas where he's going to be just scarfing barbecue nonstop. He already looks like he ate himself. So I'm a little bit concerned for Mike McCarthy's health in Dallas. But
Scotty did have some. You should have seen Scott wolfing down the brats when we were in Wisconsin together.
It was delightful. They were fantastic. You went in Rome and you had that the cow beer, whatever it's called.
Beer, whatever it was, yeah.
Fantastic. But I don't know. I'm short McCarthy in Dallas. I'm short McCarthy in Dallas. Wait to see more about Joe Judge because he's a complete unknown. And the other, Matt Rule in Carolina. Everyone's, saying he's the best hire of the offseason. Everyone loves him, and he's an analytics guy. And so I guess we'll see. The first step there in Carolina is what they're going to do at quarterback. Mm-hmm. But they have a division that's going to be in transition. Dan Quinn coming back in Atlanta, puke fest. You have Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston throwing all the interceptions, and an old, aging Drew Brees. And his contract's up, and curious to see what they do down there in New Orleans because they just got bounced out in the wild card round by the Vikings. And no one's talking about Drew Brees and all the weapons he has, and he lost at home and played a terrible game. And it was only because of Taysom Hill that they were scoring touchdowns. It's not because of Drew Brees. So, no one's talking about that. Everyone likes to go after my boy Tommy.
Drew Brees, I'm still
Tom Brady
pissed off.
Go ahead, Mike.
So I was gonna tie it all back in with college too, because here's the chain reaction. Nick Saban goes to the Dolphins. If Nick Saban chooses Drew Brees over Dante Culpepper, who Saban wanted, Saban might still be in the NFL. Who knows? So Drew Brees and I vote, and then obviously the 2009/10 playoffs. Saints beat the Vikings. Blah 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 blah. Also, Bama won the national championship that year. Somebody kill me. So just one of those sort of things that the football gods and that storyline, Drew Brees has been intertwined, and it has ruined my life. So thank you. But go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, I don't know who this Joe Judge guy is. It reeks of Zach Taylor to me. Like, oh, this guy sniffs Belichick's jockstrap, so let's give him a job type of thing.
That's fair.
And look, maybe he works out, but I think he's extremely uncredentialed and is a massive wild card. And if you are an organization like the Giants, I think you have a lot more pull, and there's not a whole lot of reason to gamble on a guy like that. I feel like that's someone who gets hired in Tampa or Detroit or one of those types of places. So that was kind of surprising to me. Like I said, I don't want to crush the guy. He hasn't even coached a game yet. So give him a shot and see what happens. Hopefully they have a quick trigger like they did with Pat Shurmur. If it doesn't work out.
They definitely were. I mean, he won the opening press conference, I would say, in the eyes of the media. Everyone's like obsessing over everything he said.
Yeah, because he's just he's got the Belichick, Saban, stoic, knows what to say.
Yeah, well, and it's obvious you're going to get you go into a meeting and you pull the right stuff to say. It's gonna,
not if your name's Mike McCarthy. We're just so excited to be here. Staying at Jerry's house. I like Rule. I think he'll be successful. I would echo what Scott said. If they don't get the quarterback thing figured out, none of it matters anyways. And McCarthy, I think McCarthy's a good coach. But if he gets them to pass a little bit more, I think they'll be good. But yeah, I just don't. Sounds like a yes man to me, and I think the press conference, as far as I'm concerned, kind of confirmed that.
Kellen Moore staying as OC too I think will be good.
The contract on Rule is just incredible. First job in the NFL, or first head coaching job in the NFL. He's getting $60 million, then incentives up to $70 million over 6 years, and they had to buy him out of his Baylor contract.
So plus pay for Baylor.
My man David Tepper is not messing around. He's got deep pockets, and he's putting it to work. And not surprised that he's doing this. I think he's reworking the whole organization. You go on the Carolina Panthers website; they're looking for analytics guys. They've had job postings up for months now, so it looks like that's the type of system they want to run. They want to be plus EV type of coaching, and he wants a good, new, innovative thinker. So I'm excited to see what they put up down there. You know, I said it earlier in the year. I think in 5 to 10 years, they're going to be one of the top 5 franchises in the NFL. And I hope to see it happen. I'm rooting for this guy. I'm rooting for Tepper. I'm rooting for Rule. And they're not in the AFC, so I don't have to worry about him unless it's in the Super Bowl.
Tepper's paying Matt Rule for 6 years with his tax savings from moving to Florida.
Yeah. See you later, Jersey.
Yeah.
Pay your fair share.
Jersey.
All right, we'll go to Florida.
I'd love to see Rule with Cam and CMC and just see what he could do with that with those two pieces. But I don't think I'm going to either. But I'm just saying I'd love to. So what do you say we get into the actual pigskin, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Are you juiced? Are you ready, Micah?
So as I have mentioned, I think I texted you guys separately, or I might have said on the recap, I am at a wedding that starts at 4:30.
Colossal mistake.
Kickoff is at 4:35. And so I asked the guy, I texted him immediately. I go, hey, any chance you'd be willing to move the wedding to either later or earlier in the day? And he laughed, and he's like, yeah, I saw the times come out. I was considering college football playoff when we were picking our day, but I wasn't even thinking about NFL playoffs. To which I responded, spoken like a true Dolphins fan. You just know you're not even going to make it, so you just don't even worry about the NFL playoffs. But I saw the mother of the bride, and I joked with her about it too. And they're a football family. So she said, you have my full permission to have your phone out and stream the game for the entire time. I was like, I'm not going to do that. It's a wedding. Like, I'm not, but I will. So that's exciting. But I'm juiced, Scott, to answer your question. I'm very excited.
I think it's actually your friend's a bad friend. January wedding? What a dick.
It's a new year. You got to start off right.
People continue to get married during football season, and I don't understand it.
I'll tell you, the worst is the people who get married on New Year's Eve. Woof. You're just asking to be an asshole. Or any holiday weekend. 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day. Dicks. Oh, you did that, Jared?
We got married on Memorial Day.
Oh, awful.
It's true.
Jared and I weren't best friends at that time. I wasn't there.
You would have talked him out of it.
I would have.
He probably would have said the same thing.
Yeah, I would have said it to his face. I would have been there, but I would have told him how inconvenienced I was to be there.
Inconvenienced I was. So, obviously, first game up, Minnesota traveling to San Francisco, not to Candlestick, but to Levi. Vikings are +7 against the Niners, is what I'm seeing.
You know, I whipped hard on the Vikings last week. I thought the Saints were just going to throw up a number on them. Back to the well this week. I'm going to be short the Vikings again. Zimmer, fully aware of his against the spread numbers, fully aware, that they've covered a lot in the past. Winning best for your money coach in the NFL over the last 5 years, whatever. I think that they have a weakness against tight ends. I think they are overmatched on the offensive line against the defensive line and the pass rush of the 49ers. I think last week was aberration for them to go down and beat the Saints. Really impressed. I think they got the best out of their defense, best out of their offense, overcame turnovers from Adam Thielen. I do not think that they will that this weekend will go the same way. I caught a 6.5 early in the week. I'll dabble at 7. At 7.5, I'll probably be out. I think over 7.5 At 7.5 and above, I'm out. From a over/under perspective, I like teasing the over. So in the tease, I'll be playing a 10-point tease. I'll be at 34 over. I think that the Niners get to get there on their own. But I'm on the Niners. I've already booked action on it. Vikings, they showed out last week, but I think very similar to what you saw last week, where some teams won on the road in the wild card round and then they got cooked in the divisional round. I think that's what you'll see here. Sorry, Mike. It's not personal. It's just money.
It's just money.
It's not personal. I would echo what Scott said. I grabbed a little Niners 6.5 earlier in the week. That was primarily on my end, just a number grab. Maybe play it back if it does get to 7.5. I think right around 7 is probably the right number. But when you look at some of the commentary around the Vikings, I think what's being significantly overlooked as it pertains to narratives is that this is the first playoff game for Jimmy Garoppolo. It's the first playoff game for Brian Schottenheimer as head coach. It's the first playoff game for George Kittle. So there's quite a bit on the shoulders of these guys, home game. And as a consequence of that, I look and I'd say, well, do the Vikings keep it tight? But I agree with everything Scott said, X's and O's wise from the Vikings defense. I think George Kittle is a significant mismatch against, candidly, a Vikings linebacking crew that I have a lot of respect for, but I just don't think that they can keep up with him on a regular basis. I saw Sendejo in the game last week, which is problems for the Vikings long term. I don't know. I haven't checked the injury report, so I don't know who's in and who is out. But if he's in the mix, that spells trouble. Emmanuel Sanders, Emmanuel Sanders, Deebo Samuel. I think they'll get after him. That's in there somewhere. I just got to bop it out of my brain.
Jared, I think you think Brian Schottenheimer and Kyle Shanahan are the same person because you always
Did I say Schottenheimer again?
Again. I don't know. They don't really look.
At least at least I'm consistently dyslexic.
Consistently wrong.
I can't
because they both have
figure
dads
out.
that were NFL coaches. We can get to the window with that.
Yeah, whoever that is. So I guess what I'm saying is I think there's more uncertainty than what I feel is in the narrative in the market today. But I still think they're better enough to warrant the 6.5 points.
I think last week was, and I'm going to pull a Niners reference here, was the Steve Young off the monkey off Steve Young's back moment for Kirk. And I'm thinking he's going to have a big game this week. The deal is, I think Dalvin, those 2 weeks off were great for him. The offense I thought looked good. Now Nick Bosa is somebody who scares me. I liked what that secondary did last week. I know, like you said, Jared, Sendejo is going to be a little bit of a weak spot. But they did
a little bit.
Do you want me to keep going? Or you want me to just... Okay. Cool. Yes, I am admitting that you are correct. So just hold your nuts for 2 seconds. Vikings, all time, 1-4 against the 49ers. And 1-3 on the road. But the one win coming on the road at Candlestick in 1987 after the Vikings beat none other than the New Orleans Saints. So, could history repeat itself? Was that a Schwam moment right there? I kind of felt like Schwami. Felt kind of cool.
History never repeats itself, but it always rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I would contend a majority of this roster was not even born the last time that happened.
Yeah, it's around that day. Around that time, they were probably all just born or barely alive.
Yeah.
Hey, so who knows? All I'm saying is I'm excited for the game. I actually legitimately think we have a shot, which does scare me. But what got me excited about it was all the veterans on the team after the game saying, hey, prep for the 49ers starts right now. Because last time I think they got a little too excited, celebrated a little too much, and went to Philly and laid an absolute gooser, as we all saw on national television. Next up, the other 1 seed, everyone's favorite team to watch, the Baltimore Ravens, taking on the Tennessee Titans, Baltimore -10.
I fought the tape a lot this year, betting against the Ravens, thinking that they'd come back down to earth. That spread's got too wide. And you know what? It cost me. It cost me, and I won't be doing it now. Hold on. Let me say this. I'm not booking any action on this game other than first half Titans +6, just because I said a couple of weeks ago that they have rested their starters a bit too much. They might come out rusty. Titans are coming in hot, running the ball, close first half. So I'll book this +6, but I won't touch the game. It's just a little taste +6 for Titans first half. I don't want to fight the tape anymore. I don't want to bet against the Ravens. I want to see Ravens Chiefs, and I'm sure that's what you'll see. So 10-point teasers, I'll have Ravens in it down to pick them. I don't see the Titans coming in and beating them. Ryan Tannehill looked awful last week. He's going to struggle again against the Ravens, but I think it'll be close enough because the Ravens have been beaten on the ground. Titans play just good enough defense to keep it close. I expect them to cover the number. I won't touch it in the game. But Ravens win, probably a 7-point game. Over under, I don't really have an opinion on. Mark Ingram injury, I expect a lot of running. All the games last week went under. This line's moving lower on the over under. It's open at 48, down to 46.5. But I'm not really going to touch this game. I just don't have a good feel for the Ravens. I typically love betting on the Titans. I think 10's the right side to be on, but I'll be cautious.
Yeah, no opinion here. I think the number's kind of spot on. I think you'll see Baltimore in oodles of teasers, yours truly included, putting them in maybe a money line parlay with them in Kansas City. I think that's ultimately what you're going to see in the AFC title game. We'll cover that, I know, in a little bit. Tennessee, again, beat a team that I've had kind of pegged last week, and just inability to move the ball. You will not see that this week from the Baltimore Ravens. I expect them to move it pretty consistently up and down the field on that defense. Interested to see what Derrick Henry's able to do against this Baltimore Ravens defense, whether or not they can shorten the game, minimize the possessions. I think that's the approach that Mike Vrabel is going to take. I don't think it will be successful. That being said, it'll probably be a little bit closer than the 10 based on, again, what I expect to be a reduced possession game.
It'll be an interesting one. I think. Has there been, Scott, do you have the lineup in front of you if there's been a lot of shift or anything like that one way or another?
It opened at 10. It got down to 9. It's back up to 10. And the betting action from what I see is pretty even. I don't have a ticket count on the site I use for this, but I do have just bet percentages, and it's 55-45. So it seems like all these games are actually pretty even, which I'm surprised on, but definitely more of the money's coming in on, or all the bets are coming in on more of the favorites, except for our last game, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, spread's a lot bigger this week. Last week we came in with 2.5, 5, 8, and 1. This week 7, 10, 10, and 5. So foreshadowing. Next up, we're going to Arrowhead. Chiefs -10 taking on the Houston Texans, who took advantage of Josh Allen's malfunction.
Oh, and I think it was more of a coaching
short
malfunction.
circuit.
Coaching oversight, and also just conservative play. I'm all over the Chiefs, booked it as soon as it opened. I think 10 is still juicy. My hesitancy to just backing up the trucks on it is that Deshaun Watson's against the spread numbers on the road have just been fantastic, especially as an underdog. I think there's just a massive coaching disadvantage here for the Texans. I don't think Butchin is anywhere near Andy Reid. And I think Patrick Mahomes is just going to light up the secondary of the Texans. I think they're going to do very similar to what they did the Colts last year, where they just delayed the absolute hurting on them. So I've booked a lot of action on this one. I'm not firing the cannons to biblical proportions as, take me back to Seahawks Raiders in London last year. So I really like the Chiefs in this spot. They'll definitely be in all the teasers. Some concern given Deshaun Watson's against the spread numbers historically. Also, I think under is the side on this one. I know it's moved up, but I think playoff football is just a different animal, and I think the Chiefs defense is playing fantastic right now.
Yeah, I'm on the Chiefs. Already bet them at -8. Not would be a reduced amount at the 10. For me, just as I said last week, go back and listen to the show and the commentary from last week. I don't trust Bill O'Brien. I sure as hell don't trust him on the road, and I don't trust him in the playoffs. They're not laying points this week, which is very different. That being said, Deshaun Watson is, as I mentioned, a top 5 quarterback in the league. There is the possibility for him to just go off, go crazy, and somehow win this game. What you have going for you as a Chiefs backer is that you have, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the league on the other side, also capable of that same thing with a offense that can blow the lid off of the stadium. So it's going to be Houston playing from behind is not how they want to be playing. I think if Kansas City jumps out to an early lead, this could get very, very, very ugly. So interesting angle for you. I think I'd be looking to play it in play as well if you have access to that. If the Chiefs jump out early, I'd probably be hitting them early and often because I think it will get worse for the Texans if they get behind, not better. So I'll have some money line parlays probably with Baltimore and with Kansas City. Not going to be great return on that investment, but I don't see this AFC Championship game not being between those two teams.
I'll really make a lot of people sad if one
Give
of those.
the people what they want.
That's true. I mean, if we don't get Baltimore, Kansas City in the AFC Championship game, I think there's going to be a lot of fans that are going to be depressed.
Micah, I don't want
Baltimore Texans.
I don't want to shit on your Vikings, but could you imagine if the NFL had like Titans Vikings Super Bowl?
Oh, they'd be pissed.
Tannehill, Cousins, Electric Factory.
It'd be Dalvin Cook and Henry. That's really what it would come down to. Would be those. That would be the title, the names. But
Dalvin Cook looked good.
He looked fantastic last week.
That's what gives me excitement. And then Kirk making some legit throws that game. But hey, who am I? And last but not least,
when Mike is buying, it's usually time to sell. Sell.
I'm trying to just flip the script. PJ influenced me to not fall for the depression, sad story anymore. I did see a guy post on Twitter saying, "Is there a team that gets luckier than the Minnesota Vikings?"
Oh my God!
And I wanted to, and so it basically blew up, and eventually he was like, "Okay, before 2016 or after 2016?" I go, "Okay, so extremely recent history, like instead of this team that was started in 1962." Okay,
cool. What was lucky about last week?
I guess the fact that there was a no call, which was so poetic. That their season went full circle.
That wasn't even a no call. Don't tell me that was pass interference.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. It was so poetic that literally the whole season they pissed and moaned all off season. So they add this challenge. None of them get overturned ever, and it gets to it where their season it comes down to that play, and they were talking about reviewing it, and they're like, "There's not even enough evidence to make me go review it." It was phenomenal for it to go full circle. Unbelievable. And last but not least, another team that has given the Saints lots of postseason fits, and that is actually both of these teams have Seattle and Green Bay. Packers -5 at Lambeau. I think it's going to be like 2 degrees.
No, I don't know. I'm on AccuWeather. It says 25, but the late start 6-4 is going to get frigid.
Cool.
Remember that game? Was it Green Bay, Seattle a few years ago ended 9-6. It was like 2 degrees, like 10 below. Was that, or was that Vikings?
And then they played the Giants like 7 or 8 years ago. It was snowing and 10 or something like that. Yeah,
Vikings Saints was -14. Blair Walsh missed the field goal.
That's the game. I don't know.
But
either way.
But
Danger Russ getting points on the road. Like it. Love it. Give me Danger Russ all day. It felt a little dirty. I had Eagles in teases last week. Luckily, it got there. But going against Danger Russ never makes me feel too good. Love them in teasers this week. Love them money line. Love them spread. I'm going to be touching each little bit of it. I think they have the better coach. I think that they have an offense that'll be able to move the ball in this Green Bay defense, and I prefer Russell Wilson to Aaron Rodgers right now. It's Devontae Adams and not a lot else on that offensive side of the ball. I think it's a team in Matt LaFleur that does not make adjustments in the second half, still new to coaching, has really struggled in the second halves of games where games are won. And so I like Russell Wilson to come from behind and get the win here. And I think just candidly too many points to give this guy. I'm sure the public money will be on Green Bay because I don't think people are too thrilled with what they saw out of Seattle last week. But I think the game script with Josh McCown at quarterback dictated them play a more conservative game plan. Green Bay, they'll have to put the gas down to keep up with what could be a lot of points potentially on the Green Bay end. So Seattle, key to the game is to keep this game close early. Green Bay has come out hot a lot earlier this season, so keep the game close and put them away late. So I'll be riding with the Seahawks. Over, under, no strong opinion either way.
All right, I think we're going to go head up on this one then. I mean, I think the number is kind of in the right spot, but I will probably find a way onto the Packers, especially if it gets down to a 3. Everything that I'm seeing, Scott, actually seeing a lot of money on the Seahawks. I think that will continue based on the 8-1 record on the road this year. A lot of narrative pumped in around that. This is not Kyle Shanahan. This is Brian Schottenheimer, right? This is the coordinator.
Yes.
Make sure I get this right this time. It's become mind-numbing how much this guy wants to just continue to pound the ball into the butt cheeks of the left guard when he has Russell Wilson at quarterback. Throw the ball. That's one thing that I have seen from the Packers this year and respect is that they are willing to throw it early. They're going to throw it often, and I would expect Aaron Rodgers to have quite a game today. But 5 points. I'm seeing some 5s. I'm seeing some 4s. I would be willing to lay the 3. Obviously, Danger Russ gets the ball down 4 minutes left, starts throwing the ball because they're forced to. I can see something like that playing out. So probably a small play for me, but I'll be on the Packers this week.
All right. So I guess, and I'll end it with this.
No, we got a game on Monday we got to talk about, or are we talking about that on Sunday?
We'll talk about the championship on the recap. How about that?
Okay.
Speaking of games that would piss people off, how pissed would people be Minnesota Green Bay NFC Championship game?
That would be dope. I would love that.
I feel like you and I are in the minority, though.
No, I think NFC, I think any of these matchups pleasing to the eye. You get Lambeau Field, NFC Championship. People are juiced. Oh, yeah, frozen tundra. Give me Chris Berman hot takes.
Hey,
get him back on ESPN. Talk to me about the what was the frozen game?
What frozen game? Oh,
well,
Seattle?
No. Way back when the
like
Ice
Super Bowl
Ice
2 or whatever.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ice Bowl.
Reminisce about all that fun stuff. The disaster would be Titans Texans because I'm not watching that. That's the AFC Championship game, which I give the same odds of our best buddy Mushface having a winning gambling season. I mean, that would just be disgusting.
I wonder what a money line Titans Texans would pay. Let's see. Now I'm curious. It'd probably be like really juicy,
25 to 1 ish is my guess.
Potentially.
Let's take a look here.
So if we did Vikings.
I was just saying the Titans Texans.
Titans and Texans.
40 to 1.
No. 17.8. $1 to win 17.80. Yeah.
Good at math. It's a good thing I don't work with numbers all day.
Flip side is Ravens. I gotta close out of these, clear these. Ravens, let's see what this pays. Ravens and Chiefs. $1 wins 50 cents. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that too.
Minus 200. It actually wouldn't even be a full minus 200. That's getting clicked in right now.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to do that right now, too. That's actually a great idea.
Live betting.
Click.
People helping people.
So what, you went money?
Yeah, click,
you went
click.
parlay on that one?
Yeah, moneyline parlay. Ravens, Chiefs. Don't get cutesy with the teasers. Just jam it in.
Just jam it home.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just do straight up predictions, not spread. Who you guys think's playing next weekend?
I think you're going to see Niners, Seahawks, Chiefs, Ravens.
Ooh. Definitely Chiefs, Ravens, but I think you will see Packers and Niners. I'm going chalk, unfortunately.
I'm going Homer. I'm going Vikings, Packers, and then I'm doing Ravens, Chiefs.
We'd have to get together for that one. If it's Packers, Vikings, NFC Championship.
Jared will actually be a Vikings fan that day. Maybe.
Yeah, just for one day.
What kind of pizza are you guys ordering?
For if that game happens,
Yeah.
Lazy Moon, duh.
Lazy Moon pizza.
Lazy Moon still looking for a sponsorship. Thanks.
Lazy Moon's the size, like their slice, Scott, is the size of my face. I have to lay my seats
awesome.
down if I order a full box of pizza. I have to lay my seats down
Right.
in order to fit the box in my car.
All right, I'm going to the Yelp. I'll take a look-sees.
Jared,
Yelp.
I'll even let you wear my Randy
Yelp.
Moss jersey for that game. How about that? Today's the
Randy Moss jersey that was mine is now yours, or no?
false.
The other
That
one.
was the one I just got. Or you can either have that or Fran Tarkenton. Your
Did my trip to Yelp, is that like a bad thing?
Dude, Yelp? Come on.
What's wrong with Yelp?
Who
Are you a
uses
Yelp reviewer, Scott?
No.
Are you a
I'm not.
verified? Are you a local guide on Yelp?
I just like that they have pictures. Oh, the bartenders seem nice.
Google has pictures. Just go Google.
The Google machine. It has the answers.
No,
Did
man,
you
this
see the
this pizza
slices?
looks awful. I feel bad for you losers
Come
down in
on,
Florida.
Get
Oh,
outta here.
puke. Ugh.
get out of here.
This looks like
This is no Pepe's Pizza. Let me tell you what.
One bite, everybody knows the rules.
modern pizza. But yes, Pepe's also very good.
Jared, today, the anniversary of the moon at Lambeau Field, by the way. Phenomenal sports moment.
Oh yeah, people can't see that I'm shaking my head.
Yeah.
Remember how disgusted Joe Buck was? That's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh.
Joe Buck. I got his
Randy
book
Moss.
right here.
Hey, you know what? Give me Joe Buck and Troy Aikman any day after listening to Booger and Tessitore last week.
That's true. That is true. Well, fellas,
Yeah. Yikes.
it's going to be a great weekend of football.
Juiced.
Juiced. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Skull Vikes.
World War II in color on Netflix. Fantastic.
17-19.